Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. For those of you who are watching for the first time, hello, my name is Shalisa Renee. Thank you for watching this video and welcome. So, a little bit of background. I am currently in school to get my RN, and I am a licensed vocational nurse in the state of California. So the school that I'm going to right now, they have like this option called the LVN to RN bridge. It's designed to be like accelerated. It's faster than the generic RN program. So this video is just going to be talking a little bit about, some things that I experienced so far being in school, and just, giving you guys a little bit of tips and recommendations for those of you who are in nursing school already, or looking to start nursing school, or even in school in general, because it all, applies the same. So I actually was making this video yesterday, and I was sitting in my car and I was recording on my phone, and the video just like stopped recording for whatever reason. So I'm trying to record it right now, and it's really late, so just bear with me. But anyways, you guys, let's jump right into the video. So one of the biggest things that I want to talk to you guys about is motivation and support. So as far as motivation goes, you guys know how it is. Like, most of you guys who are watching this video, you're either in school right now, or you're waiting to start school. So you guys know how it is. Maybe it was like this with your scientists, but you know how like you start a class, you start the semester, and you're motivated, you're driven, everything's going great, and then like halfway through the semester, you're just like burnt out, you're tired, you're not motivated, you're just kind of going with the flow at that point. Like with nursing school, it's bad. It's like that a lot. The school that I go to, their med-surg classes are 8 weeks apiece, and so the first 8 weeks that I was in school, fall semester, the first 5 weeks, literally nothing. We didn't have a test. Nothing was happening pretty much. And then the 5th week, we had our first test. They like jammed all these chapters and topics into this test. And then after that, we were having a test like back to back to back. We literally had five tests, including the final, within 3 weeks. Like, we had a test, 2 weeks later was another test, a week later was another test, a week later was another test, plus another test within that week. And then we had 3 days from our 4th test to the final. So we had our 3rd test on a Monday. We had to take a Kaplan on for me, it was a Tuesday. It was depending on whatever day your clinical day was. And then Friday was the final. So that week was really, really intense, having to take 3 tests in 1 week. So I just remember like starting the program, and the semester at least, and just being really, really motivated, being encouraged. And then halfway through, I was just burnt out. I was, getting tired, even though you're like so close to being done with that class. And you're like, okay, a part of you just wants to keep going, and you want to go hard, but another part of you is just tired, you're drained, you're not motivated, and it's tough. It's really, really tough. So the best thing for you to do, at least for me, the best thing for me to do at that point was, always like try to remember my why. Remember why I was in school in the first place, why I was doing it. Just try to make sure that I still seen the light at the end of the tunnel. And then as far as like what helped me stay focused was trying to be organized, and trying to have like a schedule or a planner or something that told me, okay, you're gonna do this subject, that subject, you're gonna have X, Y, and Z done by Monday, you're gonna have this done by Tuesday, you're gonna read, I would take like, say if I had to read 100 pages, I would break that up and split it up and say, okay, I'm going to do 20 on this day, 25 on that day, 25 on this other day, you know, just break it up until I was done. And just having like a plan just kind of helped me to focus, because like when you don't have a plan, you're just like all over the place and you don't know where to start, and it's just really, really overwhelming at that point. So when you have a plan and you have like some kind of schedule, it helps you a lot. So that was one of the things that helped me. And then, like I said, just trying to remember why I'm in school in the first place and why I'm doing it. And, you know, just pretty much just having to like be my biggest cheerleader, and, you know, positive self-talk, and talk yourself through it. Like sometimes you don't have somebody, you know, pushing you and talking you through. Like, I'm single, so I don't have, you know, a spouse, but a lot of my classmates, you know, they're married and they have husbands. So, you know, of course, when they go home, they have their husbands pushing them and, you know, motivating them and stuff like that to keep going when they get tired. So for those of you who don't have that, or even like a support system in general, a lot of people don't have a support system, unfortunately. Like some people, you know, they may only have one person, and or they may have, you know, family and their family's far, or whatever the situation might be. So, you know, you don't have that support right there, just like pushing you and encouraging you. So you have to support yourself. You have to be your own biggest cheerleader, and you have to get yourself through, because at the end of the day, only you can make it happen. And you know, it would be nice to have, you know, supporting parents and a supporting spouse, kids, whatever, sisters, brothers, friends, whoever. It would be nice, you know, to have a nice support system behind you. But for those of you who don't have that, it's really, really important to just stay on top of yourself, support yourself, cheer yourself on. Like, girl, yeah, you got it. Like, keep going, baby girl. Like, you got this. Like, whatever you have to do to get through it, do it. Like, that's what I do. Like, I'm like, you got this, girl. So, our boy or whatever. So, with that being said, just, you know, make sure that you're supporting yourself and you're staying motivated and you're staying encouraged. So, also, with that being said, make sure that the people who are around you and the people who are in your circle or in your life, like the people that, you know, you talk to on a daily basis or throughout the week or whatever, make sure that they're positive, make sure that they're encouraging, they're not, you know, feeding you all this negativity, all this drama. Because when you're in school, you don't need any distractions. You don't need anybody with their negativity, anybody with all that drama and all that extraness. You don't need it. Like, it's really time for you to just focus and do what you have to do for you. Like, I don't care. Like, my friends already know. When I'm focused, I'm focused. When I'm in school, I'm in school. So, like, a few of my friends were in a group text, and sometimes I wouldn't even reply. Like, I would go days without replying, or, you know, replying when I could, and they understood. They get it. You know, and then I have another friend, and she would always call me with, you know, her relationship drama and all that stuff. And it's like, you want to be a friend, you want to be there for people, but you don't have time for it. You really, really don't. So you need to make sure that you're just, you know, separating yourself from that. And that includes classmates, because classmates can be really negative sometimes, really draining. Even something as little as, it doesn't even have to be like, how do I explain this? Okay, so like, for example, just negativity in general, just like, I just wasn't feeling it. I was not feeling it at all this semester. And a few people, like, not a few people, pretty much everybody, like, they know me. Like, they know that, you know, I want to be positive. I want to make sure that the vibes are good, the energy's good, you know, make sure your vibration's on point and all that stuff, because all that other negativity, like, all it takes is like one person to just be like, oh my God, I'm so scared, and, you know, this and that, or I'm gonna fail. And that stuff affects you. Like, you think it doesn't, but eventually if you keep like hearing it, it affects you. And a lot of my classmates were just really, really negative and just like always complaining, always just like, it was a mess. And I remember in the beginning like trying to encourage everybody and motivate people, and then after so long, it's like I was always giving and pouring out all this positive energy and stuff into people, and I was feeling drained. Like, I was really, really just feeling like overwhelmed and drained, because all that energy was like, it was too much. It just really was too much. So I started like having to separate myself from people and just like do my own thing, because if I go, with somebody and I'm about to study, or, we have a study session or something planned, and then 5-10 minutes into the session, you're like freaking out and you're about to have a panic attack, anxiety attack, whatever you want to call it, and you're like, oh my goodness, I'm not gonna make it, and I'm gonna fail, I'm gonna fail, I'm gonna fail. And it's like, girl, like, get it together. Like, that's just ridiculous. And my thing is like, if you're scared, because of course I had moments, and school was really, really intense, really challenging. And I had moments when, I was a little nervous or I was worried about a test, but that just kind of like pushed me to go harder, to study harder. Like, I let that fear, I don't even know if I want to call it fear, but I let that worry or whatever you want to call it, like, push me and drive me to study more. Like, if I was scared, I was like, you know what, I'm worried about this test on Monday. I'm gonna make sure that I really go hard this weekend. I'm gonna make sure I go hard, for the week leading up into the test, or, however amount of time I had left. And I noticed with some people, we would block out 2 hours to study, and they spent an hour and a half or an hour just complaining and just worrying and stressed. And every 5 minutes, they're like, oh my God, I'm gonna fail. And I was like, no, like, at that point, study sessions with certain people just was not beneficial for me. So make sure that you're surrounded by positive people. Of course, it's nursing school, so people aren't going to come skipping into the study session and, singing and, just smiling and cheesing all the time. And, that's probably not going to happen, but that doesn't mean that it's okay for people to just be like completely negative and just draining. So you guys make sure that you're keeping an eye out and you're staying away from that. And it doesn't matter if you have to be alone. Like, I would rather be alone than to like sit around and just feed off each other, let all that negative energy like feed off each other. So the next thing that I want to talk to you guys is about pretty much like haters. It's sad, but nursing school can be really cliquish, really like high schoolish, and there's people who don't want to see you make it, and it's sad, even your own classmates. And it would be nice if everyone like had like this nice little sisterhood, or I mean, there's boys there too, so I don't want to just call it a sisterhood, but it would be nice if people can form this nice bond and just help each other and uplift each other and just be there for one another. But it's not always like that. There's people out there who don't want to see you make it, who want to see you fail. There's haters out there, and you just have to just kind of like block them out the best way you know how, because that's just life. And like I said, nursing school can be really, really cliquish, and people literally act like there's not enough seats at graduation for everybody. They like treat it kind of like a competition, like. And there's people out there who would literally like try to sabotage you or sabotage another classmate just so they can get ahead. Like, I had an experience with a student in the summer. And I remember this particular student, she was making comments. I mean, I knew not to trust. I should have known better. I knew not to trust her because literally the first day of orientation, this girl was like, oh, I hope some people fail, and I hope some of you guys don't make it, and this, and that. And everyone's just kind of looking at her like, girl, like, this is literally like the first impression. Like, we just met you and you're talking about you hope people fail. Like, who does stuff like that? Like, I don't know. I think some people are just evil. Like, everybody has a story. Everybody's on their own journey. And some of us really, really worked our butts off to be here, and you're like wishing someone fails. So anyways, this girl, she, was like texting me one day before. It was literally the night before the test. It was like 8 o'clock at night, the day before the exam, and she was texting me, and she's like, make sure you study this, and make sure you study that, and don't forget this, and this is gonna be on the test, and that's gonna be on the test. And I'm reading her text message, and I'm just like, I don't remember like the teacher saying any of this is gonna be on the test, for one. For two, I almost started freaking out because I didn't study any of that. I didn't look at any of that. And we're literally like the night before the test. So I was like, all the stuff that she was telling me to study, it was so much stuff. And I was like, okay, do I pull an all-nighter? Do I, try to cram all this information in? Because I didn't study any of this. So something just like told me, like, relax, don't even worry about it. So I text her and I'm like, oh, thank you, or whatever, I didn't know, or, thank you for the information. And then I just let it go. And then I remember coming to school the next day and taking the test, and nothing that she said was going to be on, nothing that she said that was going to be on the test was there. Like, any of that, none of that stuff was on the test. So it made me kind of look at her like, okay, because like I said, this is the same girl that literally the first day of orientation, she's like, I hope some people fail. So I was like, did she do this on purpose, or was she trying to sabotage me? So it's sad, you can't even trust some of your classmates to relay information to you, because they're not going to give you good information. They're going to give you lies. So I learned that like really, really early on in my nursing not nursing journey, because this is my second nursing journey, but as far as this RN program, I learned that early on. And like I said, it's sad. It's really, really sad that people are like that. Like, you can't trust people. And I remember, like, when I was in LVN school, there was a group of us, and we were so tight, we were so close, we would study everywhere together, and we would rotate and take turns studying at each other's houses. And I never once like had to question any of the information they gave me, or any of their notes, or any of that stuff, because they just weren't those type of people. And it's sad that there's grown people who really want to hate on you. It's crazy. So, just make sure that you're watching out, and you're not like getting sucked into the little cliques, and you're not like part of the little mean girls, or whatever people want to call them. And just make sure you're nice, you're fair, you're honest, and just treat everybody kindly. Like, don't get caught up in the mix, because that's just too much drama. So even if you have to be alone, or if you have to just study with one or two people, or just be cool with one or two people, do that. That's better than getting caught up in the drama. So also I wanted to talk to you guys about kind of like discrimination and race issues that are very, very present still today in school. And I graduated with my LVN 2012. So I was in school 2011 and all that stuff. So anyways, back then I remember I had an instructor, and she was a Caucasian woman, and this lady would literally give not all the girls, the Caucasian girls, but it was a group of like 5 or 7 girls that were like getting straight A's. Every test they were acing it. I mean, literally talking like missing maybe 1 point out of 100. Like, it's 100 questions and you only miss one, or you missed two or something like that, and everybody else was like, maybe getting low A's and B's and C's and things of that sort. And these girls were like killing it. So we were like trying to figure out like, well, how are they studying? What are they doing? Like, how can we be a part of their studying session, because they were doing really, really good. So it turns out that the instructor was having like these little private little study little groups with them after school. And this woman literally, like, back then we had paper tests, and we had to fill in the little Scantron or whatever. And then sometimes we would have like a paper test and we had to just circle on the page. And this lady was literally reading off the test, question by question, and she would say, like, for example, such and such, blah, 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 and then she would read the options. Option A, she would read it, option B, blah, blah, blah. And then she would tell the girls what option it was. So these classmates were recording her, and they were taking notes. So all they had to do, because she was literally reading off the test and giving them the answer for answer. So all they had to do was pretty much go home, listen to that a couple times, or just study that information, took the test, and they were acing it. And then not only that, she was reading the test off in order. So it was crazy. And she was, like I said, she was only doing that for that little group of Caucasian girls. And she was like really, really prejudiced. And this woman actually got fired. And I went to a private school for my LVN, and she got fired from the school because it was so many issues with her. And I remember there was 2 Muslim girls in the class, and one of the girls, she would really, really just pick on her like all the time. And this lady was really just evil and just racist, and it's sad. And it was crazy, but luckily she got fired, and we didn't have to deal with her after the first little term or whatever. And she never taught at the school again. So, I know that there's people out there like that, but like the school that I go to now, I don't want to say I wasn't expecting issues to be there, but I knew they weren't perfect. I knew that, and that's just a lot of places in general. Like, a lot of places and a lot of schools, they discriminate against, black women, black people. And it's sad that, nursing students have to experience that. It's really, really unfortunate. So I remember like the first day of class, the school that I go to, I've had so many friends throughout the years who've been to this school, graduated, and a lot of the times, the black girls that I know, they're either the only person in their class, or it might be them and one other person. So out of the whole graduating class, it might be 1 or 2 black people, and this is out of so many people. So when I started in the summer, there was 5 black girls, and we were sitting in class, and in front of the whole class, the teacher told us, she's like, black women, she's like, you guys have to work harder than anybody else. And I just remember, like, I don't know, that just always like stuck with me. Like, wow, did this lady really say this like in front of the whole class? And I don't know why exactly she said it. I don't know if she was like trying to give us a heads up, or I don't know. But she literally said, black women, we have to work harder than anybody else in the program. And I really feel like that. Like, one of the black girls that I started with in the summer, she ended up being in another clinical rotation than me, and she had issues with like, you know, being singled out and the teachers picking on her, and it's just always an issue. And I feel like they pick on Black girls, you know. It's sad to say that, but at the same time, I'm not surprised. I'm not like shocked, because that's how a lot of people are these days. And it's sad that there's still like racism out there. Like even my friends who work at hospitals, you know, because I have so many friends who are LVNs or they're RNs, and they work anywhere from, you know, the prison to Kaiser to, you know, local hospitals and even hospitals just throughout the state of California. And some of those things that I hear are just like sickening. Like the amount of discrimination that minorities have to face is just sad. Like I don't get it. I don't get it how it's, you know, well, now it's 2020, but even like 2019, we're all, you know, just here trying to make a difference, trying to be in school, trying to give back, you know, trying to be a nurse, trying to save lives, and you get discriminated against. It's just, it's crazy. Like even with me, like, I remember when I walked in, like I said, in the summer there was 5 Black girls. It was 5 of us. And then in the fall, it was 3 of us. And I remember the first day of class, just walking in. One of the Black girls was already in the class. And I remember walking in, like just like the way people were looking, and it was like, okay, I see what they're on. You know, that's all I'm gonna say. But I see what they're on. And I remember one of the boys, he's not a Black boy, I think he's Hispanic, but in the summer, he was like so amazed that there was 5 of us. He was like, wait, because he was like tutoring us, and he walked in, we were at, where were we at? Panera Bread. And he walked in, and there's like us 3 Black girls, and we're like sitting there waiting on him to come tutor us for math. And he's like, there's 3 of you guys? And we're like, there's actually 5. And he was so shocked. He was like so shocked. He was like, wow, like that's crazy. Like usually there's only like 1 or 2 or none. So yeah. And then there was another thing that too, like he told us, he was saying that one of the instructors at the school, she's a Black woman, and she confronted like the dean of the school, and I'm not sure who else, but she pretty much like confronted them and was just like, how come I don't see, you know, other people in this program, in the program for nursing that look like me. And you know, they just kind of looked at her, and they were shocked that she would like confront them and say that. And they just pretty much told her like, oh, are you insinuating that we don't let Black people start the program? And she's just like, I thought I heard something. But anyway, she was just pretty much like, the numbers don't lie. You know, and the numbers, they don't lie. They speak for themselves. So it's crazy. It's really, really crazy. I mean, there's so much more that I want to say about the situation, but I don't want to go too far into detail because I'm not done yet, and I don't want like no issues. So, you know, once I finish school, I am going to talk about it some more, because I feel like something needs to change. Like, it's literally 2020, and you know, Black women are still dealing with issues as far as, you know, discrimination, not being treated fairly, and, you know, being harassed or being picked on, and, you know, like the stereotypes, and some people are just so judgmental. It's like they don't want you there, you know, or, you know, they don't expect you to make it. And even like as far as like, you know, it's not always staff, it's your classmates too that you're dealing with it dealing with it from. You're experiencing stuff from your classmates. And, you know, it's sad because they would literally smile on your face. Like, there's this one of the black girls, she's young. She's not that young. She's in her late 20s, and she has a baby, and she's working full time, and she has a husband. And I just remember, like, after the first 8 weeks, and, you know, everyone took their final, and she passed. And they just like, oh, wow, like, you passed? Like, oh, wow, oh, I'm happy for you, or, oh, I'm proud of you. But you can tell that they counted her out. They were not expecting her to make it. And it was written all over, like, their expression and, you know, their fake little congratulations. And one girl in particular, she probably said it at least 8 times. Oh, wow. Oh, you made it? Oh, wow. And it's like, what do you mean, oh, wow? You know what I'm saying? Like people are just, like, so cruel and just evil, and they just have so much hate in their heart, and it's sad. So you just really have to just, I mean, I'm pretty sure there's all type of different people who are going to be watching this, and, you know, everybody's not black. Everyone's not going to be black who's watching this. And, you know, I just hope that, you know, if you are one of those people who are experiencing, like, discrimination, whether you're, like, experiencing, like, discrimination because of your skin color, or, you know, your sex, or your religion, or whatever. Like I said, when I was in LVN school, one girl, the teacher was, like, discriminating against her just because she was Muslim. So if you're, like, experiencing any kind of discrimination, like, just stay in there, stay strong. Don't let it defeat you. Don't let it, you know, get to you. Just, you know, just stay prayed up. Just surround yourself with people who love you, who care about you, and just keep going. Don't let, you know, anybody intimidate you or make you feel like you're less than or you're not worthy of being there, because you are. And then also, if you're somebody who, you know, you're not experiencing it, but you're hanging out with, you know, one of those cliquish groups or whatever, and they're discriminating against people, or they're, you know, really judgmental and stuff like that, say something, you know, speak up, and, you know, just do what you can to, you know, make the world a better place, because we all are just supposed to be working together and just being a team. And certain issues, like, we're all human. We shouldn't have to, like, deal with racial issues when we're trying to better our lives. So that's why I'm just like, I don't know, I just can't wait to finish school. Like, it's crazy. It's really, really crazy. But anyways, you guys, let me stop talking about that. What else did I want to talk to you guys about? But yeah, you guys, just, like, stay positive, stay focused, stay motivated, keep going no matter what. Make sure you're kind, make sure you're always practicing with integrity, make sure you treat others with respect, and, you know, you're doing your part, because the world needs it. It really, really does. Yeah, and with that being said, I think I'm going to end this video right now, because I'm already at 34 minutes, and I'm not sure if I missed anything, but if I think of anything, I'll make another video. I'm actually trying to get organized and stuff, because I'm not in school right now. We're on break. So while we're on break, I'm just trying to get organized and trying to, like, build, like, a schedule or something. I feel like I'm talking in circles. Like, I'm so tired right now. So I'm going to end the video, but I am trying to come up with like some kind of solid routine for you guys so I can upload more frequently and let you guys know how it's going. But sometimes it's just like, I don't even want to look at my phone. I don't even want to text anybody. Like, I just want to focus. But I am going to get better as far as like YouTube and stuff like that. Because also like talking is like an outlet for me. I love to talk, as you can see. So I will be back. You guys have a good day. And if you're studying, keep going strong and stay focused. And yeah, talk to you guys later. Bye.